everyone, welcome to the show. So great to have your company with me today. Joining me on AJ today will be the Mayor, Jack Dempsey. He's going to be chatting to us all about Bundaberg and why we've been recently voted #1 town in Queensland. I've also got Lena Kitchen joining me. She's the founder of the Almond Croissant Club, so make sure you stick around. Got Mayor Jack Dempsey with us to talk about why Bundaberg has just been voted #1 town in Queensland. Mayor Dempsey, welcome to the show. So good to have you here with us today.
Look, Amanda, it's fantastic to be here with you and your viewers, and obviously a big thank you to Wide Bay ITV for the work that they do and the great stories that they produce. And this story is a fantastic, positive story for the region. And we're #1 for the whole of Queensland, #2 for Australia.
Yes.
And it just goes to show that people are wanting to come to Bundaberg. And the genie's certainly out of the bottle. We are no longer Australia's best kept secret, and great work by Bundaberg Tourism, the whole team and all the volunteers that we have over there. But Amanda, what I really want people to know is that each and every person in the Bundaberg region are our ambassadors. And it's about how we can tell the story to our friends that are visiting, our family, and other people that we talk about right across Queensland and Australia about the reasons we live, work and play in the Bundaberg region.
Exactly.
And it's whether it be from our environment, our activities, or just the social interaction. We can all be proud of Bundaberg, and when we see these figures coming through, been a lot of hard work over a number of years, and great credit to a lot of people. And for me as Mayor, I get the opportunity to be able to say thank you and make sure that we maintain that status as #1's Queensland tourist town.
Yeah, and I can't see any reason why we wouldn't do that. So tell me, how do we capitalise on this award? What does it mean for Bundy?
Look, it's an award in that as an individual we can be proud of, and we can talk to other people and talk about our beautiful area that we have here. But also, we can also use that as a point of advocacy as well. So I'll give you an example. So Queen's Wharf will be finished in the next couple of years. There'll be 1 million visitors every year to that particular area.
Yeah.
Olympics are coming on board as well, and all the infrastructure that goes with that. And I know we're all parochial and passionate regional Queensland, and for me and yourself, about Bundaberg and the Wide Bay region. But we've got to be realistic from that international and national model that Brisbane and South East is a hub and spoke model. So we've got significant opportunities to draw that 1 million people who are visiting Brisbane South East for the first time for Queen's Wharf. That's year after year after year. And then the lead up to the Olympics to get them up into beautiful Bundaberg region, which is iconic Australian, let alone Queensland, and get a little bit of taste of what we already know. And it's really pertinent these days, Amanda, because after COVID, we saw a lot of people used to book their holidays, book their adventures, and they'd book that nearly 12 months out beforehand.
Yes.
And I know for myself, with myself and Christine and 5 children, you had to do that, and you do that to take advantage of whether it be costs or being to trying to be able to get to that particular activity.
Yeah.
After COVID, because people became more au fait with doing a lot of stuff from home themselves, we find that the holiday market is here and now. It's very much reactory. And we saw that with the amount of traffic and vehicle movements, because you can come to Bundaberg, you can fly in 45, 50 minutes, you can catch the train, which is a fantastic train.
Yeah.
I recommend the cup of tea and the muffin if you're on there, because it's a great place to relax on, but you can still do all your emails and other activities while you're on there, and basically drive. The drive market has been phenomenal, and where else can you leave a capital city? It's a 4-hour drive, as we know here. There's lots of places to jump off on the way, but then you're right out on the Great Southern Barrier Reef.
Yes.
One of the most pristine reefs and parts of the Great Barrier Reef in the whole of Queensland. So you can get out, get onto the Brett Lakeys and the Lady Musgraves, the Lady Elliots, or just get out and see our beautiful rivers and streams within a weekend or a long weekend.
Yeah,
and it gives
absolutely.
flexibility, and it gives pricing variances and opportunities for mums and dads and other visitors to take on board. And You know, there's certainly a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. Tell me, so Albury, New South Wales came first overall in Australia. Do we know what pushed Albury over the edge to get number one? What was it that beat Bundy out? Do we know?
Oh, from the national stance, I think obviously Albury, when Wodonga is bordered by 2 states, so they had, you know, certainly more exposure in that particular area. And Bundaberg region, we're you know, competing against not just the Albury Wodongas of the world, but our own Queensland towns that get, you know, substantially financed in other ways, you know, because a lot of these other towns and a lot of these other regions, whether it be in Australia and Queensland, their predominant industry is reliant on tourism.
Yeah.
So when tourism goes down, the whole economy goes down. Whereas Bundaberg, we've got a very much diverse economy. And that diversity means that tourism is always going steady. It's always, it's the same as airport numbers, even during COVID and so forth. It is nice, stable, reliable. And then over the last 6 years, we've really concentrated on upgrading a lot of the infrastructure that we have in place around the community. So for Bundaberg, there's something for everybody. We talk about the Southern Great Barrier Reef. We talk about our famous turtles, of which we're all very proud of as well, especially the loggerheads, our endangered turtles. But a lot of people don't realise the little zoo that we have across the road from here has the largest attendance out of any activity in the whole of the Bundaberg region. Over 100,000. It might be because it's free, but in saying that, it's a wonderful thing that families and friends can bring someone to fill in a couple of hours. You know, so that between the Alexander Park, the zoo, and the great staff we've got there, the botanical gardens, you know, the Hinkler House, you know, the significance of there. There's only 2 houses in the whole of Australia that still exist that was brought brick by brick from the United Kingdom. One was Captain Cook's house and the other one was Bert Hinkler. Done again by community organisations, the Rotary clubs and service groups and the business groups coming together to be able to work together to be able then to have this magnificent legacy for many generations to enjoy. The, you know, the Sugarcane Railway group there, another bunch of volunteers. And, you know, I think that's one of our strengths here. We were just able to get eco certification there last month. And part of that, tourism was one part of that. The other part is how we improve the livability in town. And that's why we're getting a lot of visitors, a lot of people returning to Bundaberg. So we saw a big influx when COVID hit because of interstate, expats coming back and then realising that they could do from a professional level a lot of work from home and still be able to maintain work and so forth and have a great place for their family to live. And then what's happened is just before we got this magnificent announcement, the week before, the Australian Institute, it might be another story for another time, but the Australian Institute identified that Bundaberg was #1 for in regional towns for interstate and regional migration, #1.
Wow.
And then we got in the top 5 for metropolitan migration. So a lot of people are coming to this region, a lot of people, you know, and they've, you know, the property values are so high in Sydney's and Melbourne's and even the Brisbane's. Sunshine Coast, we've got a lot of people that are moving here. They don't like the congestion, you know, and they want to be able to live in a place where they feel comfortable, they feel safe. You know, we've got a really good community. Like every community, it has impacts, you know, now and again, but generally it's a good, safe place. It's healthy, it's green. We've got 1 million trees. You know, we've got the, you know, reduce the glow. There's so many different aspects to Bundaberg, and I think now, you know, it gives us another opportunity for the community to be very proud for a lot of people behind the scenes doing a lot of work, a lot of good work.
Absolutely. There's and there is a massive sense of community in Bundaberg, and there's not very many places that you can live that gives you, you know, 10 minutes to a beach that way, or for 10 minutes to a farm stay that way sort of thing. It's a unique part of the world.
It is, and if people want, you know, some fun facts, we're per population, we're second highest in Queensland for boat registration, only behind the Gold Coast. And then for Australia-wise, per population, we're the highest purchaser of RVs and caravans. Not because we want to get out of the place, because we want to enjoy the area, and we've got that mentality of giving things a go. And that's whether it goes back to the Bert Hinklers of the world, yes, or to our present population. People are very inventive, and on that scale, our young students that are coming through, whether it be our high schools or university and TAFE here, are doing fantastic things, and they're not just connected to their school communities, they're connected to the world, and they're just doing incredible projects.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about, we have Bonza Airlines starting up with us, bringing our people from Melbourne. Do you think that that's going to increase commerce here in Bundaberg? Do you think we're going to get some Melbourne businesses coming to start up here in our little part of the world? Yeah,
well, we're already experiencing that already, because Bundaberg region alone has over 6,000 businesses. Now, a lot of those businesses aren't the ones that we see in the typical offices, but there's over 6,000 on average over the last 5 to 6 years per year, and a lot of that is exposure to other markets. You know, whether it be from agriculture to manufacturing. We're fourth in the state from a regional perspective for manufacturing, and it's something that we should really celebrate. But the Bonza, obviously, Bonza being able to fly out of here in May means that we get exposure from that Melbourne market. And whether it be the Bonzas with the Melbourne market, or one of the reasons why, you know, we signed up for the Canterbury Bulldogs scenario, it was the game and the event, yes, but it was that relationship into the suburbs of Sydney as well, and that positive aspect. So from that, for the Bulldogs example, they've got hundreds of thousands of supporters now have got an affinity with Bundaberg. And if they've got a bad day in the suburbs of Sydney, they can have a great day here in Bundaberg. And that's what's going to happen with the Melbourne focus. We really need the community to support it. A lot of people, the first thing they say, it's going to be great to get back to family and, you know, and friends. Yeah. But we've got to maintain that, because we've got to keep competition going. So, you know, Qantas, I want to big compliment Qantas for staying the time. You know, a lot of times we haven't liked the pricing components, but Qantas has stayed here, and at the end of the day, it has delivered an airline and continues to deliver an airline for Bundaberg, which is really significant for regional communities. They then got the competition with Link Airlines, which obviously we saw the different price parities all of a sudden come down. People will have other arguments and saying to that, but you need competition. You do. And now with Bonza gives us another whole experience to be able to have that international market. Now, the airport here, the council was basically gifted the airport probably about 40 years ago. Yeah. And some could say it's you know, it's a gift that comes with a lot of attachments to it as well. So, but the airport continues to grow, and the Bonza experience, just encourage everybody to, for want of a better word, get on board. And while there's money that'll go to Melbourne, to those markets, there already is. But what we do now is we get the exposure of those markets coming to Bundaberg. And that's why Bundaberg Tourism and mums and dads and everybody needs to be our ambassador while we have those visitors here, because while the rest of the market in Australia tries to guide everyone to Cairns and Whitsundays, we have the best part of the reef. We have the best experience to live on the reef, then we have the islands on the reef, and then we have, depending on the weather, other opportunities in our rivers and streams and our beaches. So if we can get people to have a little bit of taste of our region, they will come back. And that's what's happening. It's a lot of hard work, and it's been a lot of hard work, but I see the next 5 to 10 years to even being more successful.
Well, thank you for coming and chatting to us about our wonderful town, our wonderful region. We really do look forward to seeing what's in store for Bundaberg and the Wide Bay region over the next 5 to 10 years. It's certainly going to be an exciting time. We appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Amanda, and thank you, Wide Bay ITV, for the work that you do, getting that important message out to the community. And that's how we work best in Bundaberg region, working together.
Exactly.
Thanks
so
Amanda.
Welcome back, everybody. Joining me now is Lena Kitchen, founder of the Almond Croissant Club. Lena, welcome to the show. So good to have you with us.
Oh, thank you for asking me.
That's my pleasure. Tell me a little bit about the Almond Croissant Club. What is this all about?
It started when I saw a post on the Bargara Facebook, and somebody had put a picture up of an almond croissant, which is one of my favourite things in life, and said they'd had this fantastic croissant. And the lady that posted it and I started talking, and we agreed we'd meet up and have a croissant together.
Okay.
And we got chatting. We actually sat and talked for 2 hours. And I went home and I thought to myself, you want to meet people outside of where you live. How do you do this? I know. Let's start an almond croissant club and see if there's anyone else who has this passion for almond croissants. So I created this page thinking that, you know, a few people might join up, might get to meet some other people outside of where we live, people that are working, people of different ages, people that come from different places. It's been going for 10 months. I thought there'd be 20 people join, and we have 260 members.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
So do you think, is that a result of lots of people coming to Bundy, our beautiful part of the world, to settle from other places, or is it a need for community? What is it, do you think, that's attracted people?
I think it's a bit of both. We've got quite a number of people that have just moved to Bundy or Bargara, and they haven't got any family. Maybe they're not working, or they've just started work, so they're not getting to meet so many people. They've joined this club, and people have made some great friendships out of it. I know I certainly have. Just, we don't do huge things. We have a coffee catch-up once a month. But everybody has a good chat. We've got people from different walks of life. We've got an age group of early 30s to one lady who was there the other day was 85.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's out there for all the community, regardless of age
That's fantastic.
or gender. We have had a gentleman come along.
Excellent. Well, everyone likes almond croissants, let's be honest.
Yes, oh yes, indeed.
So tell me a little bit about what you do and when you're getting together. Is it?
We get together once a month. We started off at a very small cafe in Bargara. Unfortunately, we got too big for them. Then we went to another lovely place. Unfortunately, they closed, and it wasn't because of us. And now we go to a place called the Windmill, and I put a post up, I put an event up and say, right, we're coming along on this particular day at this time, and everybody rocks up and we all have a chat, and I tell them events that have happened or what's coming up next, and the next thing is going to be some lunches and another JoJo's mystery tour, and we eat croissants and drink coffee and be ladies.
Sounds fabulous. Now, also, when you get together, you also support charity in your community group. Tell me how that works.
Where we're going to now, which is the Windmill in Bargara, I will give them a plug because they're wonderful.
Yes.
When I first went there and I spoke to the owner, Joey, and I said that we'd have 30 plus ladies coming, he said, well, whatever you spend as a total, we will give 10% to the charity Angels,
Wow.
which is to help the homeless within Bargara. So when we have the meeting, first meeting, we must have spent over $400 between us. So $40 went to them.
Perfect.
And it just buys them coffees and teas and things like that. So that's really good. I was really happy when he suggested that.
That's a fabulous support from the community as well. It's something that Bundaberg does very well, and that's something that we're learning here on Wide Bay ITV, as well as how Bundaberg comes together, whether it's, you know, for some companionship to meet new people or to give to the people that really need it, like angels. Tell me, what do you think is the reason that the club's been so successful in such a short amount of time?
I really don't know. I really can't answer that. As I say, I guess maybe there were people out there like me that went, oh, if you want to meet someone, join a club. You know, I lived overseas for many years, and sometimes I couldn't work, so I didn't meet people.
Yeah.
So I'd join a club. I'd join the Australian New Zealand club. I'd join the Mahjong club, or any club that was going, and to get to meet people. So, you know, maybe people could be very shy. You know, you can't just walk up to somebody and say, hello, will you have a cup of coffee with me?
No, it's not that easy, is it?
It's not that easy. So maybe they saw it, and it was a fun thing, the Almond Croissant Club. As you say, who doesn't like almond croissants?
Exactly. So you mentioned that you've lived overseas. What brings you to Bundy? What made you settle here in this little part of a town?
We were living on the Gold Coast, and I'd got a fabulous job, and COVID hit, and the whole job collapsed.
Oh.
And we were halfway through COVID. All the prices for the houses had gone up, and I just woke up one morning and I said to my husband, I'm retiring. I've had enough. So we sold our house in 4 hours and came to Bagara. My sister lived here, so we'd been up several times. And we just liked it because it's quiet, and sometimes too quiet. But it's very laid back.
It is.
You know, nobody's judging what car you drive, what school your children go to, what designer clothes you're wearing. It's just a lovely, lovely area. It's very pretty.
It is. It is a wonderful spot. I used to live on the Gold Coast as well, so I can understand the jump and the difference. So that's really interesting. Tell us a little bit about what is in store for the future for the Almond Croissant Club. What are the plans on the horizon?
Well, this year we are going to do a few extra things. I didn't want to make it too big, bigger than Ben Hur. Oh, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that. We are organising some lunches, and we've got one lovely lady who does the most amazing sewing that is making something for us to raffle for Christmas time, and that money will then go to a charity.
Beautiful.
We're going to go on another JoJo's tour, which was highly successful and very, very funny. And I always say to people, if you've got any ideas, bring them forward and let us know and see if we can run with it. But as I say, I don't want to make it too intense, too many things going on. It was just a simple club that only 20 people were going to join. So, but we'll have our coffees every month. We'll have our croissants, and we'll just have fun.
Sounds perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming and chatting to us about the Almond Croissant Club. Where can people get involved? How do people find out about more about it?
There's a Facebook page, which is the Almond Croissant Club, and if they go on there and ask to join, we will let them join. We're quite particular. We like people from this area.
No, that's fair
The club
enough.
is all about this area. I did have a lady from Hong Kong that wanted to join once.
Okay.
And I did point out that it was quite a long way to come for a cup
A little
of coffee.
bit, little bit of a distance.
But Facebook, yes, just come on and we'll approve you, and you can join us and have croissants.
Perfect. Sounds like a fabulous way to spend a morning.
A morning, yes.
Or an afternoon, or a lunch.
Yes, we might even do something in the evening one night.
Fantastic. Thanks again for joining us on
Thank you
the
very
show,
much for
Lena.
having
I really
me.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere, everybody. Nathan is coming to talk to us all things music coming up next. Local News' own Nathan from Triple M is here with us today to tell us about another classic album that you guys just have to have in your repertoire. So Nathan, what have you got for us today?
Hello, AJ. Nice to be back again. Look, last week I went on a bit of a selfish journey with the band Incubus. This week I thought I would go a little more wide stream appeal with In Excess's 6th studio album, Kick. Released 12th of October 1987.
Love it.
Produced by Chris Thomas. It was recorded in Sydney, Paris, and then mixed in London. It's a very worldly sound. It's the most successful studio album. It's been certified platinum 6 times and peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200. Its singles were New Sensation, Never Tear Us Apart, Devil Inside, Need You Tonight, the last of which reached the top of the US Billboard singles charts, propelling the band into the stratosphere globally. The album was actually voted number 2 in Rolling Stone Australia's top 200 albums of all time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The sound quality for me on Kick is really what gets me. It is as good as it gets. Listen to it on headphones, you can feel the energy in that. They knew that this album was going to be something special. The songwriting's top notch. It's such a well-crafted mix of pop, rock and dance, and essentially it's a flawless album from start to finish, and timeless. You know, everyone knows at least the singles. It's still all over radio. Cover bands do it weekly. It's universally loved and is an Australian music staple. If by some miracle there is someone out there that hasn't listened to the album in full, just do yourself a favour and go on that musical journey, because you need to get it into your ears.
100%. Fun fact about that album is when I was in school, I had to do an English assignment. It could be on anything we wanted, and I did it on In Excess. My teacher was mortified that I did it on a rock band, but A+ for that one.
Nice. Look, as a musician myself, I really enjoy playing some In Excess when I get the opportunity to do so. Michael Hunchett was such a gifted vocal performer and writer, and even just performing those cover songs, you know, particularly Never Tear Us Apart, you can really feel it.
Oh, so cool. Well, thank you for joining us again. We look forward to seeing you next week and finding out what new albums we need to have in our library.
Can't wait. Thanks, AJ.
Thanks so much for joining me on the show today. Next week on the show, I'm going to be chatting with Joey Caruana from Bundy on a Plate. And of course, Nathan comes and talks all things music, so make sure you tune in.
Don't ask me what you know is true. Don't have to tell you I love your precious heart. I was standing, you were there, 2 worlds collided, and they could never tear us apart. We could live for 1,000 years, but if I hurt you, I make wine from your tears. I told you that we could fly, 'cause we all have wings, but some of us don't know why. I was standing, you were there, 2 worlds colliding, Thank you.